This is Scott from Face to Face, and I'm blowing it up on Capital Chaos TV.
You are number 6.
And you guys are on Fat Records now, right? And you just had a release this year called Protection. Is that the album?
Protection is our latest album on Fat Records. We are bookended now with Fat Records because the first album is a Fat, once he got it off Dr. Strange, essentially. But it's considered a Fat release, Don't Turn Away. So first album, latest album. We are a Fat Records thing. Plus I play guitar in Me First and the Gimme Gimmes.
Okay.
And which, you know, I've been friends with a lot of the Fat people for a very long time now.
Yeah.
I grew up with Joey Cape from Lagwagon and all
Okay.
that stuff. So we go way the hell back.
Yeah, like family.
Yeah, it is. It's you know, there's a lot of lip service paid to the whole community aspect of it all, but it's very true. At least with the Fat Records world, it's a community,
Awesome.
and it's a good community.
Now you guys are on a Little John up the West Coast, if I've seen that right. Is that right?
Yes, it's really mostly. You know, we were booked here to play Aftershock, and then our agent booked a Canadian tour, so we're just skirting our way up to Canada, where we'll do about a 3-week run across Canada.
Really? Are you going all the way to the east, or?
All the way.
Really nice.
Yeah, I haven't studied the dates exactly. I always look at the first date and the last date, and I just know not to plan anything in the middle.
Gotcha.
But I don't scour all the dates. I just kind of get lazy about that.
Gotcha.
Usually my buddies are like, dude, you're going to be in Winnipeg, bro. I'm like, all right.
Yeah.
Come on down, let's hang out.
I'll see you when
Yeah,
you get there, right?
Yeah.
Now, anything so far at the beginning of next year, U.S. support of the newer album?
I don't have any specifics, but, you know, Trevor's implying at the very least that, yeah, we'll do a real, like, U.S. tour. We haven't done that. I mean, for most of this, the album's been out for a few months now, but we've only done, like, a few one-offs and festivals, but we haven't mounted a legitimate U.S. tour, so that's still coming.
Gotcha.
Look forward to that.
Now, you, in Face to Face, you play bass, right?
Yes.
And where did the love for music come from? Where did you get that from, to want to be a professional musician, a touring musician?
You know, when I started, it was a nebulous, childish dream. There was no, like, authentic, you know, 6-point plan to becoming a professional musician. I didn't look at it like that.
Okay.
There was these bands like Black Sabbath and Kiss or whatever that were something that just, you know, I just looked at those guys with those guitars, and, you know, even before that, you know, music runs deep in me and my family. My little brother is the guitarist in the Foo Fighters. Chris Shiflett, my older brother Mike Shiflett, is a music teacher in Santa Barbara at the Jensen Music, where we used to take lessons. So my older brother Mike is really the wellspring. Other than my parents each had their musical tastes, I loved their records. I still do. You know, my parents' taste, because that kind of thing happens when you're young.
Yeah.
And my older brother was a huge influence, and I took up bass because he played guitar.
Okay.
That's why I figured one day we would have a band, but it didn't go that way. It wound up being me and my little brother I'm being redundant, having bands.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what happened. But, you know, it goes, like I said, back to that age where you don't think critically about that you're going to make it a life's career. You don't even understand the ramifications of what you're doing to your life at that age, you know?
Yeah,
I dropped out of high school with a bass in my hand, you know, and a foolish move I don't recommend to anyone, but this is clearly a passion for me, and it's a life's calling. I'm a music person. It oozes from my very being, and
It sounds like a family affair overall, just everybody.
Absolutely, yeah.
So were there two different sides of the music spectrum with your mom's records versus your dad's records?
Yeah, my dad was like jazz and blues and stuff like that, 1940s, 50s stuff. My mom was really into the sort of soft California sound, Fleetwood Mac, James Taylor, Linda Ronstadt, which I think those are great records too, you know. But I got into, well, in the 70s, well, in the early 70s, it was the Stones and the Beatles and David Bowie, and in the later 70s, well, we got into the Sex Pistols and the Jam and the Clash. But then I kept moving. I discovered Black Sabbath, and that changed my life. It opened me up to Deep Purple and Led Zeppelin and, you know, early Rush records, early Van Halen records, stuff like that. I've never had any purist attitude. I love what moves me, and I'm unapologetic about that. And a lot of it is punk rock, a lot of it is hard rock, a lot of it is God knows. Yeah.
That's awesome.
So I'm a music guy. What we do in Face to Face is a collective energy formed by the participants. So I can only steer it so hard. And as Trever and I are the principal songwriters, but it is a living thing. There's stuff we know better than to try to make the band be. Even if we could, that we write it, we just save it for our other projects or whatever.
Gotcha. Yeah, stay true to what you guys are doing.
I hope they know that's a Zeppelin riff. Oh, sweet. Yeah.
Awesome. Now.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
They know it's Zeppelin.
That's pretty cool. Yeah. So you're up in Portland, Seattle, BC, and then across.
Up in Canada, 3 weeks. I could exhaust you with the dates, but I don't even know them. I'd have to find them somewhere.
That's cool. Couple silly questions. This one goes out to my buddy Todd. You're on a desert island.
Yeah.
You've only got 3 albums to listen to, and only 3. What are they?
Oh, fuck. Well, I might have to pick the Beatles' White Album for one of them. God, why are you doing this to me? What else? What breaks my heart but fills me with joy? I might have to pick Zeppelin 4, and I hate to say it because they're playing right now,
Yeah.
And let's see, what's a third record? I might have to do something cheesy and... No, you know what? I would do a classic punk rock record that's more in a rock and roll vein of punk, and I would pick London Calling by The Clash.
Really?
Yeah.
Awesome.
I think that's one of the greatest records of all time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. And any sponsors or gear that you're working with you'd like to send a shout out to?
Fender has been a part of my life since my dad bought me my first Fender jazz bass in 1981, and I've recorded only ever with Fender basses on any face-to-face record.
Okay.
I play my Fender Strats, and my when I play a lot of the live stuff I do with the Gimmes on guitar. I've got friendships with them, and they've been really good to me, sending me basses and amps and things like that. But that's only recently. I've been a big Fender guy forever, so I would always give a shout out to them. To me, their stuff is what feels right. It plays right. It's what I think a guitar or a bass should be.
Awesome.
So,
awesome.
Yeah.
And finally, any encouraging words of wisdom coming from a veteran musician like yourself to any young kids out there looking to get in a band, start a band?
You will sound like shit, but you will get better. Don't give up. If you love it, don't worry about what other people say. Some people will be encouraging, some people will be discouraging, some people will try and razz you and belittle you. A love of music and a love of participation in music is one of the best feelings that a person can have. The camaraderie you get when you're working with friends, and I just think it's one of the best things you can do. So it doesn't matter if, you know what, I might have wasted a few years in my youth looking for top players and crap like that. Find people you get along with that share an enthusiasm for a similar thing, and you don't have to worry so much about what each guy digs. Don't be so militant about that. Everybody has real eclectic and diverse tastes. Do you have fun? What kind of noise do you make? Is it a positive thing when you all get in a room together? It's great. It's the best thing in the world. And I'm an old man, and I love it as much now as I ever did.
That's awesome.
It's never gonna die.
That's awesome. Keep going, brother. Keep going. So this is your buddy Mean Gene signing out here from Aftershock, and I want to thank once again Scott from Face to Face. Get out, buy the record, get up the West Coast, across Canada, go see these guys, check them out. Thank you, man.
My pleasure.
Thanks. All right, brother.
Cool.
Thank you.
Yeah.